Well, in the world of boxing, for me, I think it's good time for him to finish the career and to focus on some other sorts of things that he can do in his life.
You have to give everything to beat this man, and he wasn't willing to do it.
Joe Rogan just badly humiliated Tyson Fury after his loss to Usyk, and honestly it's hard to blame him. The rematch between Fury and Usyk on December 21st turned out to be a wake-up call for anyone still holding on to the idea that Fury was the true, untouchable heavyweight champion. Usyk didn't just win, he outclassed Fury in every way.
What's next for me? I'm going home, having some time off, for sure. You might do, you might not do, who knows? We'll talk about that next year.
The fight wasn't just a victory for Usyk, but a public unmasking of Fury's flaws, and of course, Joe Rogan, being the guy he is, didn't hold back. He tore into Fury's performance, calling out everything from his preparation to his questionable focus on fame over fighting.
Alexander Usyk is the true, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, regardless of the fact he got stripped of one.
Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King, the man who built his entire career on taunting opponents, belting out songs in the ring, and convincing the world he was an untouchable boxing deity, he strutted in like he was the king of the world, ready to crush anyone in his path. But after the rematch with Alexander Usyk on December 21st, well, let's just say that untouchable status took a nosedive. Faster than Fury's punches landed, Usyk didn't just win the fight, he became the undisputed heavyweight champion.
Relax, recuperate his mind and come back to training. He's a great champ. He's a great, absolutely great man, great performer, great fighter.
Usyk, who Fury had the nerve to call him middleweight, turned Fury's boxing career into a joke. The weight gain wasn't muscle, it was like he thought cardio was optional. Usyk was looking sharp while Fury was just trying to walk around hoping his size would somehow save him. Spoiler, it didn't. And guess who noticed? Joe Rogan. And Rogan didn't just point it out, he absolutely roasted Fury like he was putting a turkey in the oven. Rogan didn't just say Fury lost his edge, he practically destroyed him. He called out Fury for being too busy, chasing fame and not focusing on boxing. Can anyone blame him? Fury's been all over talk shows, taking selfies with fans and acting like he's a reality TV star.
A fight.
Yeah.
That Usyk guy is talented. He's so talented. He's so small for a heavyweight too.
Meanwhile, Usyk's been putting in the work and stacking up wins. Rogan even said Fury's heart wasn't in it anymore. Yeah, the Gypsy King might have lost his crown, and maybe it's just gathering dust somewhere. The fire's gone out, and all that's left is a faint little spark. And let's talk about the numbers. Usyk landed 42% of his punches, while Fury can only manage 28%. That's not just a difference. It's like one guy is playing a video game on hard mode and the other is on easy. Fury, who used to brag about his boxing IQ, looked like he didn't even have a plan B. It was like watching a guy with no idea what he was doing, hoping his size would somehow pull him through. But it didn't, and when that doesn't work, you just look out of your depth. So yeah, Fury didn't just lose the fight, he lost his whole mystique. Usyk didn't just outbox him, he made him look like he didn't belong in the ring. And as for Fury's self-proclaimed Gypsy King title, I think we can safely say the crown is
world of boxing. For me, I think it's good time for him to finish the career and to focus on some other sorts of things that he can do in his life, because he's a successful man.
So has Tyson Fury hit rock bottom? That's the question everyone's asking for a man who once called himself the greatest of all time. This loss is more than just a blemish. It's a full-blown identity crisis, and with Joe Rogan leading the chorus of critics, it's clear that Fury's days as the untouchable old Gypsy King might be over. Meanwhile, Usyk is sitting comfortably on the throne, the undisputed king of the heavyweight division. Joe Rogan never dull you to pull punches, delivered a scathing critique of Tyson Fury following his second loss to Alexander Usyk. And when Rogan talks, people listen. He's not just some armchair critic, he's a voice that carries weight in the world of combat sports. His verdict: Tyson Fury has lost his edge completely.
Palatable, but it goes with the territory sometimes.
Yeah.
I think the fact that he loses the fight and doesn't see it that way and talks about it, he accepted in the build-up they lost the first fight. Now, for his version of events, he's now...
Rogan didn't tiptoe around the issue, he went straight for Fury's perceived lack of focus and preparation. He highlighted what many others have been too polite to say: Fury no longer looks like the driven, ferocious competitor who once clawed his way back from the brink to reclaim heavyweight glory. Instead, Rogan painted a picture of a man more interested in basking in the limelight than grinding it out in the gym. You can't just rely on size, Rogan said. Unimpressed, Fury looks like he's showing up for fame, not to fight. And then came the hammer blow: boxing experts' suggestion that Fury's Hart might not even be in the sport. Anymore, it's a shocking statement that makes sense when you look at Fury's recent trajectory. Fury seemed untouchable after dominating Deontay Wilder in their trilogy fight in 2021. But as Rogan pointed out, maintaining dominance requires hunger, focus, and discipline, traits Fury appeared to leave behind somewhere along the way.
A Christmas gift from them judges. Christmas gift early.
Distractions there are almost too many to count, from reality TV appearances to singing on stage. Fury's became more of a celebrity than a fighter Rogan drew attention to. This obsession with fame, which has visibly taken precedence over the grind of boxing. And let's not forget Fury's infamous comment before his first fight, with Usyk dismissing him as a middleweight. The irony is brutal. The man Fury belittled has now beaten him twice. Once in May 2024 by split decision, and again just last week in Riyadh, this time by unanimous decision. Rogan wasn't the only one questioning Fury's mindset, but his words hit harder because they came from someone who understands what it takes to succeed in combat sports. And that's where we dive into Fury's fragile psyche, a vulnerability that's been exposed not just by Usyk's punches, but by the aftermath of these losses.
Came in with all that weight and fought a fairly safe fight, hoping that he would land the big shot, he would rock Usyk, and then he'd go in for it. You can't just expect Usyk to fall for that kind of trick.
The psychological toll of these defeats can't be understated. Fury has always thrived on being the bigger, louder, more imposing figure, both physically and mentally, but Usyk has flipped that script. He's beaten Fury not just in the ring, but in the war of mental fortitude, and Rogan didn't miss the opportunity to point that out, emphasizing Usyk's composed and clinical approach is the polar opposite of Fury's chaotic persona. At this point, the narrative surrounding Fury is less about his abilities and more about whether he can recover from this downward spiral. Rogan's critique wasn't just about the physical aspects of Fury's decline. It was a deep dive into the psychological and emotional struggles that seem to be plaguing the once dominant champion. Fury, for all his bravado, now finds himself at a crossroads.
Master of boxing, and that was a huge test for Fury mentally more than anything, because that requires you to accept, if this doesn't work, I'm getting knocked out because I'm going to use up all my energy.
It's technique, like really, really high level technique. But it's rare that someone with that kind of technique gets into the heavyweight division.
Joe Rogan didn't hold back when delivering his final word on this saga. In his eyes, Alexander Usyk isn't just the reigning heavyweight champion.